Hello, hunters, and welcome back to my story. Let's begin part 7. Atka tells Spirit that if he truly wants to be good, he can leave Earth, go back to his home world, and lead his people towards being good once again. Spirit agrees, saying that despite his actions, part of him always wanted that. Alexis questions it, but Atka assures her that it's a good idea. Then Spirit apologizes for killing Kevin, and swears that he will only fight for good reasons from now on. This surprises Alexis because she thought that Spirit was pure evil like the others. Then Spirit asks about his father, and Atka says that he's dead. Spirit's glad, and he says that he won't be reviving any of his family members, because they'll just try to stop him. He then tells Atka that when he returns to Planet Dark, he will train hard to get stronger, then come back to Earth later for them to have a rematch on good terms. Then he flies away, and makes his way to the spaceship that his father used to get to Earth. Then he flies it back to Planet Dark. Then Atka and Alexis enter Or's temple once again and make their 2 wishes. Their first wish is to fix everything that Zin and his army destroyed. Their second wish is to revive everyone who was killed by Zin and his army. Now all the villages, as well as outskirt town and Cherokee City, are as good as new, and all the people populating those places who died wake up in their homes. Also Hikage, Heathcliff, and Curtis wake up in a field, and Kevin wakes up inside the Dark Castle. Then all 4 of them quickly return to Cherokee City to meet the others. Everyone is happy now that everything's fixed. Atka and Alexis then run as fast as they can to return home, and they tell everyone everything that happened. Jay and Wenma are there too, and they already met with everyone. Everyone has a party complete with a feast to celebrate their winning the war, and this time nothing happens right after. At the end of the day, everyone returns home and gets some good, well-deserved rest. The next day, Akira and Raihi decide to follow in Jay and Wenma's footsteps and stop living in the wilderness. Using the prize money they earned from the Tournament of Will, they buy a house in Great Village. Everyone now lives peacefully. Atka, Stry, Lee, Curtis, Sarah, Roshan, Jr., Goldie, Jay, and Wormlet live together in Outskirt Town. Hans and Sam live together in Mount Foot Village. Hikage and Hikari share a house in Cherry Village. Jerry, Kevin, Annabelle, and Alexis live together in Cherokee Castle. Akira and Raihi live together in Great Village. Shelia lives alone in Cherokee City. And Spirit has become a good king on his own world. However, trouble still brews somewhere nearby. After about a week of peace, an explosion goes off on the ice cave, where Enzo was killed. Jerry orders his troops, who were trained by Stry and Shelia, to investigate, and Alexis goes to Outskirt Town to get the person who she trusts the most, Atka, because she feels that this situation could be dire. Atka and Roshan head to the cave, and the soldiers come out saying that there was nothing in there. Atka and Roshan go into a deeper part of the cave where Kevin was imprisoned before, and they find an indent in the wall. Atka breaks down the wall, and they discover a giant chamber which is empty. There is a giant hatch above them, but it won't open. So they go through a metal door up ahead and end up outside. Then they see a giant airship on the ground, with a cannon on the front. Someone is piloting the ship, getting it ready for takeoff. They notice Atka and Roshan, and the ship takes off before they can board it. But then Roshan picks up Atka and they fly onto the ship. The pilot calls for backup and 3 people show up. They are the cousins of the evil duo, John, Josh, and Joel. They perform weird poses and call themselves the Power Squad, a group of powerful fighters who serve the almighty Gear. Atka notices their low power levels and easily goes past them and tells Roshan to take them. Roshan prevents them from pursuing Atka and lets them know that they're fighting him first. Atka confronts the pilot, and the pilot says that they've met before. He tells Atka that back at the Tournament of Will, he was humiliated by Atka's father even after years of training, and that sparked evil ambitions within him, and there his plan was put into motion. But before he tells it, he realizes that he got too carried away and that Atka doesn't remember him. So he introduces himself. His name is Gear, and he is the one who lost to Curtis in the first round of the Tournament of Will. And then his plan begun. He took the long journey to the Orange Temple and made a wish to make himself immensely more powerful. Then he realized that he had 2 more wishes. So he used one of them to become very rich, and he used the other to become immune to the forces of nature. So the journey back to the mainland was a swift one. His wishes were made a while before the others, so the fountain had regained its power when Atka and Jacob made wishes. After the fountain was used, it loses its power and regains it in a year or so. Gear made sure to reset the traps and locks in Terry Temple on his way back so no one from the mainland could easily get a wish. Because Gear's wishes were simple, the fountain would only take 6 months to recharge. Once Gear returned to the mainland, it was when the Alliance was pursuing Spirit. He went through Cherokee City, and 3 people tried to mug him. He realizes that they have intentions of world domination, just like he does. So he shows them his power, and they submit, and he decides to recruit them. They are the same people who Roshan has now just defeated. They helped him with his plans by doing things that he couldn't easily do alone. During the time they had, they spent their time training while planning the next move. And after Zin was defeated, they learned about the ultimate weapon from a book in the ruined Mountain Foot Library. An airship hidden away by Cherokid's first king many years ago, after a war near the castle due to its destructive power. Once the places were restored by the Wish, the Power Squad did more research and led Gear to the ice cave, where upon destroying a wall in the deepest part of the cave, they discovered the chamber where the weapon was hidden. The Power Squad sealed the hole back up, and the four examined the ship. It had run completely out of power, so Gear used his own energy to fuel the ship and its cannon. He would be the pilot, and the others would fire the cannon and keep watch. The weapon has the power to destroy an entire city in a single blast, and Gear plans to destroy everything and rebuild the world in his own image and rule it. And he's incapable of destroying everything on his own, which is why he needed the weapon. They opened the hatch with a remote that was found on the ship and took it outside, and then landed once again to plan their route from the other side of the mountains, where no one could see them. And then Ack and Roshan showed up, and here they are now. The Power Squad is out of commission, so things won't be so easy for Gear as it is. He plans to destroy Cherokee City first to get revenge on the ones who laughed at his loss, and next he plans to destroy Outskirt Town to get revenge against the one who defeated him. They are now above Cherokee City, and Gear challenges Atka to a fight. He needs to defeat them so he can fire the cannon. Gear gives Atka some trouble. He's forced to go all the way to his purple form. They're around the same strength, but Atka is stronger and he knocks Gear off the ship. Gear falls onto a hay bale and he's knocked out. Atka is tired from the intense fight, so he takes the ship back down behind the mountains. And Atka and Roshan then destroy the airship so no one can ever use his power for evil again. They take the Power Squad to the castle, and Jerry has the three of them taken to the dungeon. Then Atka goes and finds Gear, who wakes up and no longer has any motivation, so Gear decides to turn himself in, and he's taken to the dungeon as well. With them rested, there's once again no more threats to peace. 1 year passes, and everyone is enjoying life. Stride and Shelly are very close now, and Stride's even in love with her. One day, he tells Junior, and Junior gets him ready to ask her out. Stride is ready. He goes to her house. Just then, she asks him out instead. This leaves him shook, but of course he says yes. That night, they go on a date, and they're now dating. Stride and Junior move in with her, and Stride and Shelly share a room, and Junior finally gets his own room, and everyone's peaceful lives continue. They wake up the next day and see that all their friends and family are making their way to the castle, so they follow. Jerry had called everyone there for a meeting. There has been a murder last night, and a witness claimed that the killer was a demonic entity. So Jerry wants them all to stay put at the castle and then search the city at night to see if he returns. That night, everyone splits up and searches the city. Akiro confronts a hooded man and asks him who he is. Then the man quickly gets behind Akiro and breaks his neck. Raihi saw this and quickly flies to him. Then the man removes his hood and reveals his identity. He's the Demon King, Zabuzar. Then Zabuzar disappears, and Raihi quickly takes Akiro back to the castle to get healed. Then everyone else is called back to the castle. Akiro will be in the chamber for a while since he nearly died. And when everyone else shows up, Raihi tells them what happened and who's behind this. Then Zabuzar shows up at the castle entrance and tells them to meet him in the Cherokee fields or he'll destroy everything. And he leaves. Everyone is in shock. Akka says he'll go alone and everyone else quickly disagrees, especially Curtis, who says that if anyone went alone it should be him since he's the strongest. Then Akka explains why he wants to do this. He says that Zabuzar may be expecting them to all show up and then send troops to the city. So he wants to go alone so everyone else can stay and protect the city. Having their strongest there means they have a better chance at the city being protected, especially since Akiro is out of commission. Curtis understands, but he says that he'll tag in if things get dire. Also, Alexis wants to go with, and Atka says he's fine with it as long as she doesn't get hurt too bad, and she promises that she won't. The two of them head to Cherokee Fields, and everyone else alongside the city's royal guards stand guard outside the city. When they arrive, Zabazar says he expected this. He knew that they'd keep the city guarded and only send one warrior, but he goes along with it anyway, and he sends his army of demons toward the Cherokee City. Everyone there sees them and they get ready for a big fight. There are at least 500,000 demons. Akka and Alexis get ready to fight as well, because this Demon King's power is off the charts. Thanks for watching part 7 of this story. Stay tuned for part 8 to hear about the war against the demons. I'll see you guys then. Happy hunting!